Hi, and welcome to VEDA Day 21. So today I saw the International Space Station fly over my head like 20 minutes ago for the second time in my life. Now this isn't really that big of an accomplishment, but for someone who is a science literate and NASA enthusiast sort of person, I take the International Space Station very seriously. Now you may be wondering why I've only seen the International Space Station fly overhead twice now in my entire life, even though I am super into this. And the reason why is because the conditions have to be ideal. If it is during the daytime, the sky is too bright, the International Space Station does not reflect enough light from the sun back to the Earth for you to see it. And at nighttime, if there is no direct sunlight reflecting off of the International Space Station back to the Earth, to the dark surfaces of the Earth, you cannot see it at night. So, during the night, you can't see it because it's too dark. During the day, you can't see it because it's too bright. So you have to be in the right place at the right time as the International Space Station reflects light from the sun as it orbits overhead, and you're on the Earth, specifically on a spot that is no longer lit up by the sun. So physically where I am on the Earth, the surface of the Earth that I'm on, it is dark. But the airspace, the space, I don't know, above where I am still has light going through that space from the sun. And the International Space Station orbited through that space so I could see the International Space Station because it was reflecting light from the sun to the dark part of the Earth that I was standing on. I know this is all really confusing, but I have a solution to this. You guys should all download the GoISS app. I believe that's what it's called. So yes, the app is called GoISSWatch. Again, it's GoISSWatch, and you guys should all download it because it's really interesting and it's free. You could basically track where the International Space Station is currently, and you can actually project where it's going to be when it flies over, where it's coming from, its future orbits, things like that. And it's a really great way to keep track of where the International Space Station is, especially if you have some downtime in the evening as it gets dark. Now I tell this story as if the International Space Station was this beautiful thing that just kind of came overhead and then presented itself to me, but really it wasn't that exciting. It actually is kind of boring and dull. It literally is like a plane flying over at high altitude, but the difference is you don't even hear it. It's this singular bright light that appears from the horizon and just arcs its way overhead and then disappears as it goes across the sky and down over the other horizon. And it's actually quite slow, even though in space it's going like 15,000 miles an hour or something like that. Down on Earth, it is just slowly moving across the sky. So if you've ever seen a shooting star, that thing whizzes through the sky very fast. And if you see a really bright one, it sometimes can light up the sky a little bit. Those things are actually going slower than the International Space Station, just they are much closer to the Earth than the International Space Station is to the Earth. I guess the reason why people really don't notice the International Space Station is because, one, they don't really know what it is, they don't know what it looks like as it passes overhead, and really it's just a bright, plain, shooting star looking thing that slowly moves overhead at the same rate of speed. Yes, often people mistake it for a plane or something else, or people just don't even look up in the sky anymore, and it's just kind of what we have become. Although this was only my second time seeing the International Space Station, this will probably be the most special moment I've ever seen the International Space Station. And the reason why is because as the International Space Station orbited overhead today, it started from my northwest, came up through the sky, it was very brightly lit, got much brighter as it was overhead, and then once it got to about, I don't know, 45 degrees, 50 degrees in the sky to the southeast, it slowly faded and then just completely disappeared. And the reason why is the sunlight was no longer able to reflect off of the International Space Station and then back down to Earth where I was standing. So I got to watch it slowly fade away to this very dim light in the sky and then just completely disappeared. In the back of my head, I knew that the International Space Station was still there, I just couldn't see it anymore. The International Space Station takes about 45 minutes to orbit the Earth, so I guarantee you within the week, the International Space Station will actually pass overhead. You just won't be able to see it the majority of the time due to it being late at night or during the daytime. Thank you for watching, and I hope VEDA Day 21 was interesting and insightful, and please do go download the app and pay attention to when the International Space Station is flying over you. And of course, let me know how you guys are doing in the comments, and I will talk to you tomorrow for VEDA Day 22.